Hi everyone, how are you? Happy June 1st. New month, fresh new start, things to look forward to. I'm coming to you today because there are some things that I really want to share and things that have been happening in my life and things that, well, let me just stop for a second and say this is so not a sob story. This is not a story about Kelly. This is a story that you need to hear to the end. So please stay with me. I'm shaking and I have tons of anxiety right now, but it's important. And so I'm making myself step totally out of my comfort zone. Typically my Facebook page is closed and private. However, I want this video to be public so that people are able to share if they choose. I want to talk to you about the fact that this summer is predicted to be, at least in New England, probably everywhere, a real heavy year for ticks. Ticks. I know, you've heard it. May is Lyme Disease Awareness Month, but I didn't quite have the courage to go live in May. Took me an extra day. We who live in New England or on the East Coast or in the middle of New Hampshire probably already know the risk that's associated with a tick bite. But Lyme disease is not just an East Coast, New England problem anymore. In fact, Lyme disease is becoming so prevalent that they're finding it all across the nation. They're finding that it is exploding, becoming like an epidemic. Can you believe that? From a silly little tick that's the size of a poppy seed on your hand. So I want to share some things that I have learned, and I want to kind of make this like a public service message so that we can make sure people are knowledgeable. I remember in the past hearing about people that would say, oh, I've got Lyme disease. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm really struggling. I'm not feeling well. I'm struggling with Lyme. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better tomorrow. And you know, I had no clue in the world what it was all about. I didn't. I had no clue how prevalent it was. I had no clue that the medical community, although they are amazing, they are not always equipped with handling patients with Lyme. Okay, I'm going to share with you what happened with me, because this might help you. I have been bitten. Where we live, there are ticks everywhere, and I've been bitten before, and I never had a telltale red flag, a rash, a bullseye, none of those things. And you know what? I can't remember the exact percentage. 70% of the people who are bitten by a tick and have been infected with Lyme never have those signs. They never get the rash, they never get the bullseye, they never know. If you're lucky and you're bit by a tick and you see the bullseye, you go to the doctor and they treat you with doxycycline, which is fantastic because this does not have to be a debilitating disease if you catch it early. So in other words, you get your bite, you get the bullseye rash, you're so lucky, God bless you, you are so lucky. You go to the doctor, they treat you. So what happens now is that antibiotic that they treat you with only has this portion of your body that it needs to treat, okay? I have no idea when I was bit. I have no idea how long it's been, but it's obviously been long enough to invade my entire body, every part of my body. So what happens while you're going about your life with no idea what's yet to come, sometimes you just don't feel good. You know what I mean? Like you might, I've got a headache, I feel kind of feverish, I'm just not feeling good, I think my stomach is kind of nauseous, might have diarrhea sometimes, and you just feel like you're catching something. And then a couple days go by and it's better. And it's like, oh my goodness, I fought it off. I'm not sick. Whatever it was, I fought it off. Some days you wake up, get out of bed, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, my legs are really hurting today. I bet I pulled a muscle. I bet I walked too far on my walk yesterday. I bet I slept wrong. Goes away. Everything's fine. So do you suspect anything is wrong in your body? Nope. Some days you might have difficulty concentrating. You might forget things. You might have a hard time recalling certain words. Ugh, grr. I think this means I'm getting older. I'm forgetful. But then it gets better. So you can see that your body is trying to give you signals, but you don't catch on. You don't get it. You don't think to yourself, oh, I bet I have Lyme. No. You can't go to the doctor. You know, I wasn't feeling good the other day. What? So over time, those symptoms, if you want to call it, increase, happen more often, last longer, and you start to feel like, okay, I'm really being a hypochondriac, I'm busy, I've got a great job, see what I mean? I can't think of words. You just start to think that you need to slow down, you need to sleep better at night, whatever the case may be. It's not until there's some glaring symptom that is so painful, so intense, so bad that you can't stand it that you then go to the doctor. So our problem here is Lyme disease mimics so many other problems. Arthritis, what are those diseases? Autoimmune diseases, MS, fibromyalgia. There are so many diseases. So, and I don't quite understand it. People tend to look at those types of diseases for whatever reason, even though Lyme disease is exploding around us, and I'm telling you, it is exploding around us. Nobody thinks of that. And even if they do, the chances of you getting a positive test on a Lyme disease are so slim, because so many people get that test and it comes back negative, 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 negative. My test was negative 3 times before it finally became positive or showed positive. I have an amazing, amazing doctor that I love her. In her gut, she suspected that this was Lyme. How fortunate was I? And treated me right away with doxycycline. Now you would think that as all these symptoms are kind of compounding within your body, that the start of an antibiotic or the treatment would be yes. And I know I'm very blessed, but that's not the case. And people need to know that. People need to know that when you start the antibiotics, you are not going to be whole and healthy and the person you were prior to the disease overnight. We are treated for days, weeks, months, years with antibiotics, heavy doses of antibiotics. You start an antibiotic, you go through 4 to 6 months, and then you have to switch to a different antibiotic because the bacteria gets a little too comfortable with that one. So you have to switch to another one. You have to switch again. You have to switch again. You have to increase the intensity. You have to decrease. You have to do this. You have to add something else that will enhance the antibiotic. You have to just keep going. And every time that happens, the discomfort and pain within your body becomes intolerable, debilitating. Debilitating. I thought that when I started the medication, I thought, okay, I can do this for a few months, we'll get past this, and I'll be done. I see the light at the end of the tunnel. And don't get me wrong, there is a light at the end of my tunnel. But it's so much further away than what I thought. And so, inside your body, the bacteria, which is shaped like a corkscrew, I'm sorry, it hides in your body, in your muscles, your joints, your organs, your tissue, your brain, your heart. It hides. Okay, I'm not going to cry because I'm going to be strong. It hides because it knows the antibiotic is in there waging war. Hides. Hidden. But while it's in there, it's multiplying. And it's infesting your body. Change the antibiotics and the bacteria might come out for a while, and then bam, 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 there goes that warfare inside your body. And so at that point, you're dealing with what is called a Herxheimer reaction. And what that means is, I'm so sorry, it means that the bacteria and the antibiotic are at war with each other, and they pollute your body. As much as you try to detox and flush your system and take the, what are those salts called in your tub? Epsom salts. To detox and rid yourself of all this nasty pollution. It's not enough. And your symptoms are so off the chart to the point where you sleep hours and hours and hours. You wake up and you're still tired. You're nauseous. You have headaches. You vomit. More diarrhea. You're a mess. And the only reason that I'm okay with that is because I know that that's what I have to do to get to the light at the end. Otherwise, I probably would have given up by now. But it was my choice. I had a choice. I had a choice of treating the symptoms and dealing with flares as they came, or going head first as hard as we could to kill it so that my chances of relapse would be less intense and perhaps less frequent. It was my choice to do that. So now, Lyme has changed my life. It has changed my life. Please forgive me. There are people out there that are dying of terminal diseases, horrible illnesses, and they're not going to recover. I in no way equate this to that. In no way. But my life is now changed. I have not been able to drive since January. I probably should have stopped sooner than that. I was getting lost. I was going through red lights. I was going through stop signs because I would forget I was supposed to stop. I would get confused. I couldn't find my way to a very good friend's house. I couldn't remember what road is it, even though I've been there so many times. I am pretty much housebound. I have an amazing family, but there were many times when they can't be here, and so Gene leaves for work in the morning at 7:30, and I'm often alone until he gets home at 8:30 or 9. I don't read anymore. I don't read anymore because I can't concentrate. I can't do my household jobs. You know, the things that are so rewarding and so frustrating at the same time, like, oh man, I just cleaned the bathroom, now I gotta do it again. I would kill for the energy to clean a bathroom. I do try to empty the dishwasher. On good days, I load it and empty it before my husband gets home from work. I hurry up the stairs, wash my hair, maybe put on some lipstick or some lip gloss, and that way he knows when he gets home that I've done something. I hate this disease. I have had a job that I have loved for 33 years. I kind of don't know quite who I am without this job. I started teaching school when I was 22 years old, and I've been in the same district for 33 years. The teachers and the staff and the administrators are my family, my best friends. My kids at school are my kids. I don't just teach them. I love them. They're mine. I can't get up in the morning anymore and go to school. I can't do my job. My doctor has told me I'm not going to be well enough to go back in the fall. And so I've had to retire. I had to retire from my job. That was my thing, you know. Everybody has a thing. Going to school and being with my kids and my friends. That was my thing. But that's gone. It's gone. And it's okay because I'm very lucky to have other things to look forward to, and there will be different jobs when I'm better. There will be different doors that will open. There will be other opportunities. And I'm okay with that. It just hurts. The medical community, as amazing as they are, and I have to again repeat, my PCP is like the best, but the medical community in general does not know. They're not trained, they're just not aware of how to handle this disease right now. And unless you're very lucky like I was and you find a Lyme literate medical doctor, then your chances of treatment are really slim. Maybe I should just say it's more challenging. Insurance doesn't cover all the tests. And you know what makes me angry? If I can just be angry for a minute. This disease has been out there surrounding us for years. And although it may not have been so prevalent, where the heck are they? Where the heck are they? Why aren't they putting all of their resources and training and knowledge into finding a way to prevent this disease? Where are they? Oh, that makes me so mad. Did you know, long ago when AIDS first came out, AIDS is a disgusting, horrible disease for anyone who suffers with it. God bless them. But Lyme disease is one notch, a tiny notch below AIDS. That's pretty scary, isn't it? I went and had lab work done yesterday, and I'm not talking about going to a big Boston hospital. I'm not talking about being in a facility that treats primarily Lyme patients. I'm talking about a small town America little lab where I had my blood work taken. Because during the treatment you have to have your blood checked periodically every few months. The woman who took my blood, and you need to hear this, okay? You need to hear this because this is so huge. The woman who took my blood said that since she had started that morning, she had worked with 31 patients. I was number 32. So of those 31 patients, 30 of them were there for lab work because of Lyme treatment, or they were there for lab work for a Lyme test. Can you even believe that? Do you see what I'm saying? This is like becoming bigger than we can imagine in one little lab. So now I want you to imagine there are people out there right now that are being treated for all those autoimmune diseases. And perhaps that's not what they have. Perhaps they don't have that at all. Perhaps they have Lyme and they were never diagnosed. There are people out there that are walking around right now that don't understand the importance of ticks and how ugly those little bugs are. I don't want people to go out hiking or strolling through the woods or to the playground without checking their body, and I'm talking nooks and crannies. Every nook and cranny. And you look for ticks. And if you have one, you need to get it off. You need to save it. And if you don't feel good, you go and demand a test. And if it comes back negative, you can demand again. The symptoms that you want to look for are what I mentioned earlier. With everyone, it's different. The joint and muscle pain is usually very common. Confusion, an overall feeling of being sick. Forgetfulness. Pain in various organs that you can't account for. If you look at my hands right now, do you see how bad they're shaking? Do you know why that is? Because that's neurological Lyme in your brain. All of those symptoms are so huge. So please, 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 especially your kids, don't overlook it. Never overlook it. I am sorry for the tears because please, I don't want you to feel bad for me. because I am going to get better. But I just need you to know that this is a very scary disease that can be avoided if you do your tick checks. I've become a very private person lately. I chose to put this on my wall. Not set to private, but set so that other people can see it. And that's something I have not done for so long. Because at a point in my illness, I got so angry and sad and depressed that I went through my Facebook page and I locked everything up. I locked it up so that only my friends could see what I posted, whereas before I was a very public person. I was very guarded about what I said. I was very careful about sounding like I'm sitting here asking you to feel bad for me. But today I'm taking that chance, and if you think that this will help any other person, please, please, please share. It doesn't just happen in New Hampshire. It doesn't just happen in New England or the Northeast. It happens all across the country. It's happening in other countries as well. And we need to make sure that our voices are heard, because the CDC needs to recognize the severity of this problem. And I'm not sure they do right now. Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you for listening. For my friends, I thank you for coming over and sitting in a chair and just talking with me inside my four walls. I thank you for your private messages and your little texts, because it may seem so trivial to you, but it means the world to me. And just thank you for understanding. I'm really good at being fake. I'm really good at coming on and being like, hey everybody, how are you? You know, how's it going? But the reality is, those periods of time are slim. And those are the periods of time that I choose to share with people. So this is not something, it's not even something I ever expected to do. But this is the real deal. This is Kelly. This is Kelly right now, in my little world. Keep yourself safe. Please share. And please know that I thank you for listening.